Hello. In this session, we are going to start with building the fixed deposit notification app that we had talked about in the earlier sessions. The first step in creating the fixed deposit notification app is to show that initial notification that your fixed deposit so and so is due on so and so date. So that is what is the goal of this session, to create that initial notification for the fixed deposit app. So for that we will be creating a new project in Android Studio. Let's call it Show FD Notifications. Okay, and this is the code trial 1 folder in which we will want to create this new Show FD notifications. As you see in Android Studio, the screen is called as a form factor screen. It allows you to create various versions of your Android app. So right now we are creating a version for the phone and tablet, and we are also creating the version for Android Wear. Also, as you see, it takes the required Android SDK version depending on what is it that you want to do. So if for the phone and tablet it creates the API version 15, and for the Wear it creates 20, because we need latest API for the Wear version. What we are going to do is we are going to add a blank activity, and note that this is adding an activity to mobile. So the Android Studio enables you to create one version for the mobile and one version for the Wear. Right now what we are doing is we are adding a blank activity to the mobile. Let us call this activity as Show FD Notifications. It takes the layout name accordingly. Now we are going to add an activity to our Wear application, and we give it the same name, Show FD Notifications. One interesting thing to note here is that the layout name is the standard layout name, and there is a layout name for the round shape, and there is one layout for the rectangular shape. Since we had already discussed that Wear devices come in these two shapes, note that separate layouts are being created for the separate shapes, because the UI has to be adjusted accordingly. In our case, however, we are not going to actually use any particular layouts, but we are just going to create the notification in the activity itself. But this is good for your knowledge that we will, if you want to create two different layouts catering to two different shapes of the Wear device, you can do that using Android Studio. And it automatically provides you two different layouts, two different code areas where you can code separately for the round shape as well as for the rectangular shape. So as you see, the basic code for the app comes up, and as you see in Android Studio we have two versions, one for the mobile and one for the Wear, because that is how we chose how to build it. And you see that there is a common source folder for all the Java files and the res files related to the layout and everything. And as of now we will be looking at the Show FD Notifications, which is the main code that we have to look at in order to create the notifications. Now we are not actually creating any UI per se for this, so we can safely remove out these lines of code which actually load the initial UI. In our UI we are just going to have the notifications, so we will be writing a method for show notification. Okay, now we will implement this method, public void show notification. Okay. Now, in order for showing the notification, first we have to provide a notification ID. The next thing that we have to do is we have to create an intent and a pending intent for this notification. As of now, for this purpose, we are not actually creating any response to the notification, but we will just be adding the particular we will not be showing any response for the notification, but we will just be showing the notification as it comes up. So that is what we are doing in this case. Okay. Now once we have this here, we are creating an intent. This intent is going to be fired after the notification comes up. So we are keeping it ready for further things that we want to do in the app, such as showing voice messages and other things. Okay, and the next thing that we will do is we will now look at this step by step as to how we are going to create the notification in the code using the notification builder. We will just import the required classes. Okay, now using this notification compact builder class, we will be creating the notification. It has a method to set the icon for the notifications. We can set the title for the notification and the actual text. In this case, we are setting certain hard-coded values for the FD number, the bank name and the due date. But in your actual app, you might want to retrieve this from the database and display it over here. So we will just pick up those variables. So these are the 3 hard-coded values that we are providing for our notification. Also, as you see, we have to define a particular string over here for the action. So we will be defining it in the strings.xml. So in our strings.xml, say we have defined a string that okay, in response to this notification, we will be sending an email to the bank manager. We will be seeing the details of this in the future sessions, but as of now, we are just keeping a string ready. Okay, so this is our notification which has been created. It has been given an icon, it has been given a title, we have set the text for it using certain hard-coded values, and we have set the intent for it. This, as you see, is an action which we will be looking at in other sessions in detail, but as of now, you have to understand that once the notification is clicked, then this is the action that is going to come up in the next screen. Okay. Now, this notification is ready, and what we have to do now is we have to create a notification manager. So we create a notification manager, and this notification manager is later going to help us actually fire the notify method, which will show us the notification. The notification manager has not been defined locally, we will define it globally because we will be using it across the other sessions also. So we define the notification manager also over here. So that takes care of defining our notification. So all that this does is it's going to bring up a notification showing us that okay, this is the FD number, this is the bank name, and it is due on so and so date. So as you see, this notification has come up. Initially it just shows us a small view of the notification. We pull it up and we see the entire notification that this particular notification is due on so and so date. So this session was about creating Android Wear notifications. In the further sessions, we will see how to add actions to this notification, how to add pages to the notification, how to combine 2 notifications as stacked notifications, and most interesting of it all, we will be looking at how to add voice messages as responses to this notification.